So welcome back to the Stephan Show. My name is Graham, and welcome to my show. And today we're going to be speaking with Hannah, who's making way more money on unemployment than she is from working. And she has a few questions about, is it worth it at this point to go and get a job when she's making way more money than she ever has before on unemployment? So I'm going to give my thoughts on this, what she should do with all this money she's getting right now, and just a few other bits of information thrown in. So with that said, make sure to destroy the like button, and let's bring on Hannah. So Hannah, welcome to the Stephan Show. What's going on?
Hi, Graham. Thanks so much for having me and being so willing to help me.
Of course. Yeah. So what's going on?
So basically, I was laid off. Prior to the pandemic, I was laid off in November 2019. And at this job, I was making almost about $60,000 a year. After taxes, I was taking home about $1,600 biweekly. So then when I got laid off, I got 8 weeks of severance, and then I applied for unemployment once that was over. And my initial unemployment was to be $17,000 dispersed over 6 months at $602 a week. And that was after taxes were withheld, which was still really great. Came out to $1,200 biweekly, and I could live just as comfortably. And I'm still actively applying and interviewing, and I really, really wanted to work, but this was super helpful. So then the pandemic hit, and it became pretty much impossible to find a job. And then we got the CARES Act, and it was intended to address the economic fallout of the pandemic in the U.S. And what this meant for me was I would receive an extra $600 a week in addition to the $600 I was already receiving. So now I'm at $1,200 a week, which is awesome. I've never made $1,200 a week. And that was starting April 13th, and that was only supposed to be for 13 weeks. So that was amazing. I was over the moon. I was so ecstatic. I had all this money. I didn't have a job, but I was still making ends meet. So now my unemployment is actually even extended an additional 13 weeks from when this would have been over. So originally my unemployment was to end on June 25th. So once I've exhausted that original $17,000, I'll get an additional 13 weeks of this $1,200. So I know it sounds a little tricky. It's not easy to understand even when you are on unemployment. So it's going to end, and then it's just going to start right over for another 13 weeks. So from January to March, $600 a week. CARES Act comes in from March to May. Now I'm at $1,200 a week. Currently, as of June, I received $1,800 first week of June via unemployment. And if this continues for 13 weeks from June to September, making $1,800 a week, I'm going to have a ton of money, and I'm not going to know what to do with it because it's more than I've ever made.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So what you could do is you could put it on. You could put it all on Robinhood, and then you're going to be doing SPY puts. You put it all on SPY puts on Robinhood. You're going to be doing two. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, so you're going to be short.
Okay, easy.
You're going to put all the money, and you're going to short Tesla on Robinhood.
Yeah. No, I like this technique.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your 2 free stocks on Webull using the link down below in the description, because one of the stocks is going to be valued up to $1,400. Okay, no, but in all seriousness, I want to know how you were able to extend the unemployment benefits for another 13 weeks. Where does that come from? That's your company's uninsurance policies paying that. Where's that? I just want to understand that.
So, yeah, definitely. So the additional 13 weeks is via the CARES Act also. So the CARES Act not only gave me $600 in addition to my original $600, they also extended the unemployment past the date it would end due to the coronavirus because they understand it's even harder to get a job with this pandemic. So that was all from the CARES Act as well.
Wow. So the extra $600 a week is going to discontinue as of now, the end of July, but you're going to still receive your normal unemployment for another 13 weeks starting end of June, correct?
Right. However, it looks like, it's also tricky. It's never clear. Even for someone who's on unemployment, but it looks like I will receive $1,800 for the additional 13 weeks. It doesn't look like they're going to take away the 600 that they originally gave. It looks like they're just extending it even further with however it is already.
Okay, because my understanding is the extra 600 a week is set to expire July 31st, at which point I have a feeling they're going to offer something else in its replacement, maybe a little bit less, but that you might be able to keep unemployment going longer. Just the normal unemployment is my understanding. Your situation might be a little bit different, but that's my understanding. So I could be a little bit wrong here. So
no, right. That would make total sense as well.
Okay. So you're going to continue getting an extra 13 weeks of unemployment. Wow. That's a decent amount of money. So how much, let's go back a little bit. How much money do you have saved up right now? What are your expenses? How much of that are you spending?
Right. So right now I have about, I want to say $5K in savings and $10K in checking. And that's entirely all I have to my name. I've got a car note for about $10K. I've got student loans for about, maybe $24K. And those are really my biggest expenses. I live at home with my dad. I take care of, groceries. I take care of gas. Anything I want to spend on myself, I do. But I'm trying to be as frugal as possible, and all this money keeps coming in. So it's almost hard to hold on to it, but I'm still attached to it at the same time.
Wow. Okay. So just have the mindset that once this goes away, at some point you're going to be on your own, at which point if you don't have a job, it's going to be nothing. So just treat all of this as though it's never coming back again. Here's your shot. You got some extra money coming in. Don't mess it up. It's basically treat it like that. What is your car interest rate?
4%.
Okay, so that's fine. What about your student loans?
Same thing. The rates 4%. Are so great right now.
Okay, so take your time paying those off. If you wanted to, honestly, use some of that money to pay down either the car or the student loan a little bit, you can do that. 4% is really on the border because I feel like you could probably do better in the markets long term, but at the same time, you could reduce some of your debt because this is basically free money in a sense. So It doesn't hurt to pay down some debt. So I would almost advocate you pay down some debt with this, maybe use 20% of it. Put it towards the car or the student loans, something like that, maybe 20%. The other 80%. So it sounds like your expenses are pretty low then every month. If you're living at home, gas and groceries, what, $600-700 a month?
Right.
Okay. So you're saving a decent amount. You have too much money, I would say, in your checking. I would open up a high yield savings account. I think would be a good option if you haven't already done that, like Ally. Ally Bank, I would say, is probably one of the best. They're the easiest. Right now, they're paying 1.1%. I would keep maybe 4 to 5 months of your expenses because you don't have a job lined up right now. Keep 4 to 5 months of your expenses. So keep like $5,000, $6,000 in an Ally Bank savings account that you're not going to touch. Even better, actually, what you could do, because you're not going to touch this money, is do a penalty-free Ally Bank CD. This is what I've done. Basically, you could lock in a slightly higher interest rate, and because it's penalty free after like 6 days, you could basically cash out of it at any point in time. So you're going to get a slightly better interest rate with money you're not going to be touching in case you absolutely need to, and in the meantime, you get a slightly better interest rate. So just go and do that. The remainder of it, I think right now would be a good time to open up a Roth IRA and contribute a little bit of the money to it. I mean, just invest some of this money away in just a broad index fund. VT Sachs might be a good one. Just open up a Roth IRA with Vanguard, VT Sachs, and just throw whatever remainings in there. And that's probably what I would do. I would just use this as an opportunity to invest and just treat this like, you've already got your savings, you got your emergency fund there. It's in a high interest savings account. You could invest the rest. And, if you use maybe 20% of it to pay down some of your debt, I think that would be the safest decision. Because you're going to be fine. You're living at home. You're going to be fine. Like, worst case, if you don't get a job for a while, it's not like you're going to be evicted. It's not like you're going to be on the streets. So I would just see this as it's a good opportunity. You can invest, you could pay down a little bit of debt, and have money in the bank.
Right. I agree. That's great. I always hear you talk about that savings account with Ally Bank, and I think this would be the perfect time to get into that and jump in there. What would you think about if I did find a job and I did take a job and I miss out on this $1,800 a week or however much more money I would make, because if I took a job, I would not be making nearly as much.
Yeah. Okay. So I get it. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I mean, technically, to be receiving the unemployment, you have to be actively looking for work. Now, whether or not they actually know you're actively looking at work or you're not like turning down jobs, they're not going to know. I mean, this is you certifying it. I would go into it with a mindset like, I would rather be safe with this and just try to find a job. Because I know there's going to be people out there who are saying, like, listen, you shouldn't be taking advantage of the system like this. The taxpayers are paying for you to be on unemployment. You're taking it, but I also see it from your perspective too. It's like, listen, it's a lot of money. And I think if a lot of people are in this position and they're thinking the exact same way as you. And they're thinking like, I don't know when I'm going to have another chance to save like this and get paid like this. I may as well take the opportunity. Well, I don't think, so I get it. My only thought, just being practical here, is that it's going to go away at some point. How long is it going to take you to actually find a job once that goes away? Is this something that's going to take you a few months to find a job? Can you find a job like overnight? I would just go into it thinking, let me go and look for a job right now. And when I find a company that's the right fit, that I could see myself working at for a while, take the job. Because my thing is that it's better to be safe than sorry. And at least, even if you end early on unemployment, at least you'll have a job lined up. Like either way, you can't really lose. Either you get a job and you're working, or you're making a lot of money on unemployment, which is going to expire in a few months. Either way, you're still gonna come out of this ahead. So I would say probably go the job route. Just try to find a good job, lock it down. Even if you end unemployment early, at least you got something lined up. And I mean, what you've got so far is phenomenal. I mean, a lot of people are in your position. I think it's something like 60% of people on unemployment are making more than they were working. You're in the majority of people here. So a lot of people are in the same position as you. You might want to get in before everyone else is like, oh, I got to find a job, and then everyone rushes back. Because there might be a bit of a lax attitude right now to find a job. There's not a lot of urgency for that. So if you get in before everybody else, by the time this runs out and people are scrambling to try to find jobs, you would have already had something lined up.
Right. I think it's going to be extremely competitive once everybody's unemployment is exhausted and it's time to find work again. And there's millions of people that you're going to be competing against now, not only people who are unemployed, but recent grads and, people who are seasoned. So I think your advice is fantastic. A job, trumps some temporary unemployment. A job could last a lifetime and eventually make me more money, hopefully one day. So I'm definitely actively looking. I'm going to keep looking. And I think the best thing to do right here is, like you said, save.
Yes, I agree. And then the other thing you could do is hit the like button, obviously, and get your 2 free stocks down below in the description for Webull. I think would be another good one if you haven't done that already.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, listen, keep us posted. I think either way, you can't lose on this one. But let us know what ends up happening, and would love to do a follow-up call at some point.
Okay, awesome. Definitely. Thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it. This was very helpful.
You're welcome. Good luck. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to destroy the subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post it pretty much daily. So if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there, as on my podcast, brand new, by the way, link down below in the description. And lastly, like I just mentioned, if you guys want those 2 free stocks, very easy to do. Just use the link down below in the description, and Webull is going to be giving you 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 on the platform, and one of those stocks could be valued all the way up to $1,400. So if you want the 2 free stocks, use that link down below. Let me know which 2 free stocks you get. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.